Who do you see when you look in the mirror? A beauty or a beast? Sometimes I just don't feel beautiful. I see all my flaws, all the lines and spots and imperfections. My hair is too dry. My skin is too red. My forehead is too high. My body's too thin. My lips are not plump enough. My skin is not smooth enough. My nose looks kind of weird. I look old. I look tired. I am ugly. I want to be like them. How can we feel beautiful again? Let's find out. There comes a time in every woman's life where we start to doubt ourselves, where the inner critic is so strong. And then maybe we have always doubted ourselves. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is so important. What is it? Beauty. Let's look at the ugly truth of our society and what really happens in our brains when we see something beautiful, and what each of us can do right now in order to protect ourselves and to feel good and happy with what was given to us at birth. I'm Laura, and this is Blue Sandia, your safe space where we learn together how to take better care of ourselves. I want to get all naked and vulnerable with you for a second. Recently, I entered a phase of huge self-doubt. I looked at myself in the mirror and I really didn't like what I saw. I felt ugly, I felt not enough. And because I love to make videos, I have to look at myself actually a lot while editing. And I just did not like what I saw. I thought I looked like tired and old and plain ugly. Sometimes I just don't feel beautiful. Sometimes I just feel like the ugliest person in the world. I look at myself in the mirror and I think, I don't like what I see. And I feel ashamed for that. I know we should love ourselves how we are, and it's the beauty from inside and all of that. I know, but I don't feel it sometimes. It doesn't matter if my boyfriend tells me, "You're so beautiful." If my friend tells me, "You're so pretty." If I don't see it, it doesn't matter. So I decided to upgrade my appearance. I started doing face massages, upgraded my skin and hair care routine, went to the gym, started using makeup, upgraded my wardrobe, fixed my posture, got a new haircut, got my nails done. And still, when I looked into the mirror, I didn't feel much better. Then it dawned on me. These doubts didn't just come up now. They have always been there. And to all the women out there, it doesn't matter how pretty you are according to beauty standards. If you don't feel your own beauty, it might as well not exist. So let's start by opening up one of the most used apps these days. When I see myself through a filter, I'm suddenly perfect. Smooth complexion, lush lips, big eyes, and perfect eyebrows. Beautifully styled hair and makeup. But where am I? My history, my pain, and my joy, my soul. Is not being me really beautiful? Research has actually shown that exposure to filtered images leads to low self-esteem, dissatisfaction, and a negative body image. I get that. Of course, when we see this perfection And then compared to reality, we feel inadequate and insecure. And it started at such a young age. A recent study showed that actually 80% of 13-year-olds have already downloaded an app to alter their appearance on photos. Don't judge yourself against your own filtered selfie. And it also creates a pressure that we can only post perfect content. Like, I prefer this me. Reality sucks. It also kind of lets me doubt all the beautiful women I see online all the time. Are they real? Quite frankly, I think it's scary, it's sad, it's unnecessary, and I prefer reality. Okay, so we put the phone away, but what do we see when we actually walk through the city, when we wait at the bus station, or when we walk into a store? Yes, ads. Canva actually did a really interesting study. They took 10 ads of the most famous beauty brands and they averaged the faces used in the ads into one representative image. Now guess what? Of all the brands, the face almost looked the same. And these perfect women are just used to make you feel insecure. So a need to buy this product is created because with the product, you finally will look like them. But isn't the beauty standard changing? Isn't it getting more diverse and inclusive and all of that? Maybe, but if you look at the top brands like Estee Lauder, Chanel, Dior, Nivea, L'Oreal, if you go to their websites, you don't see normal people. You see perfect faces. They're all flawless and stunningly beautiful, of course. No pimples, no redness, no puffiness, no wrinkles, of course. No realness. From lip size to hair thickness to eyebrow shape, cosmetics and their advertisements are actually designed to point out a person's flaws and then sell a solution. Some fine line starting to form around your eyes? You must feel horrible. You do not want to look old and therefore ugly. If you want to look flawless and perfect like them, you need to use this product all your life. Fact is, we are constantly reminded of what beauty standards are and that we don't live up to them. There exist thousands of beauty products, don't you think? It's crazy, and every day gets more. And the trends appearing also are endless. And they're making a lot of cash. This year, the beauty sector is projected to reach 670 billion with a 9% annual growth. Huge. They are making cash with our insecurities. Although skincare is the biggest spender, makeup comes very closely after. Now, if we go back a little bit, nearly every culture has actually used some kind of makeup to enhance physical appearance. And back in the days, only the high society actually could afford makeup. So historically, makeup and therefore beauty has been always connected to prestige in society. And nowadays, makeup is mostly advertised as a tool for success. And makeup can alter your appearance a lot. Look at this. Like when you conquered a really hot chick in the club and then you wake up the next morning like, who is that? That is not a hot chick from last night. Ooh. Makeup could be wonderful if it's used to accentuate rather to cover up. Is this beauty? Or this? Is only natural beautiful? And is natural real? What if I want to enhance my features? Or am I really hiding something? Covering up my insecurities? But what is natural beauty? Nowadays, natural beauty can be created through surgery. Now let's look at the most beautiful woman in the world. Based on face beauty ratio calculations, supermodel Bella Hadid is actually the most beautiful woman in the world. She has the most perfect face with a beauty score of 94.35%, according to a study by Dr. Julian De Silva. And you know what? She had a nose job done. She's followed in the rankings by the actress Amber Heard, which had facelift, cheek implant, new breasts and teeth done. Next follows the singer Beyonce. She really is an exception because God blessed her with good genes. She actually didn't have any major surgery done. Kendall Jenner, for example, who is considered a natural beauty, had a lot of surgeries done. Or Megan Fox, who I think was gorgeous at the beginning, but now, she's still considered the sexiest woman alive, in spite of her nose job, all the Botox, and the boob job. So basically nowadays, if you do not have the perfect face like them, you are kind of screwed. Or you're gonna spend a fortune on products and surgeries and treatments in order to just get a little bit closer to the perfect face. And in the end, they all look the same. This is why they call it the rise of the same face culture. Because look at them. Who's who? They all look exactly the same. What? And let's be honest, even if you had the money, would you really do it? Is this what our culture has come to? Now let's do a little experiment. Are you with me? Imagine a woman that's hot, but not beautiful. Difficult, no? Now imagine a woman that is beautiful, but not hot. Easy. Hotness in our society, sadly, is the main goal. Every woman kind of strives toward it. It seems a little bit like hotness is the height of beauty. But beauty can actually stand alone. It seems to be something greater, grander than just being hot. And hotness deteriorates with age, apparently. Beauty does not. So why is it then that we are obsessed with looking younger? I have this song from Adele in my head. Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful? So that kind of sums it up, no? For centuries, beauty was viewed as something that you kind of lost with age. And when you are in your 20s, you are at the height of your beauty because you are young and beautiful. But as women age, they lose their value in society. That is also because they actually start to feel ugly. Smile lines, creases, stretch marks, and especially wrinkles seem to be the enemy number one. Society actually tells women that marks or wrinkles on their face are unacceptable. They're just damaging your appearance. That's when plastic surgery comes into play. And did you know that anti-aging products are one of the most sold products in all the world? Is the best business ever. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Because youth is the ultimate goal, and that is very convenient for the cosmetic industry because it's an impossible goal. We all age naturally. We cannot reverse it, no matter what product we use. So all the marketing is actually prompted to making you feel very uncomfortable with getting older. But don't worry, you're gonna feel better when you have that product. I remember my 30th birthday and I looked into the mirror and I saw the first lines appear in my face, the first wrinkles. And I was really like, it's starting, I'm no longer young. Since then, I'm kind of worried about it. I've been looking at myself in the mirror like, I don't like it. I don't think it's pretty, to be honest. So let's face it, we actually haven't learned how to accept what happens naturally to our skin. So all this desperate search for beauty is pretty dark and sad, right? No wonder that we are how we are. But why has it come to this? In order to really understand why all of this is happening, we need to get the help of my good friend, science. Because believe it or not, beauty is programmed into our DNA. As we know, beauty is not really tangible. It only exists in our head as a pleasant feeling. And this pleasant feeling has been around for a long time. For example, our ancestors shaped their tools symmetrically. Also things like the golden ratio, fractal patterns, and symmetry have been considered beautiful throughout the ages. But where do those likings come from? They come from nature. We can just look at snails, clouds, flower heads. All of them follow these rules. And because these things appear so often in nature, they were very familiar to us. So stems, leaves, blossoms, they all grow symmetrically. A deer's symmetrical antlers meant it provided healthy and nutritious meat. Therefore, if we look at humans, a more symmetrical face means a more healthy and a more fertile partner. And being able to recognize this beauty helped us actually to assess our surroundings. When something was a bit off, it actually meant danger. So recognizing this beauty was essential to our survival. And whenever we saw something beautiful, the reward center of our brain was activated. And that happens without us even thinking about it. That means that dopamine is released. And dopamine gives you feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. So when we see beauty, it is a signal of safety and nutrition, which automatically generates a pleasant feeling within us. Which is why beauty is actually correlated to happiness. Beauty has a huge impact on our well-being and can make us feel good, both physically and mentally. A study found that individual happiness depends actually, apart from a harmonious family life and health, a lot of the place you live in. So the more beautiful your surroundings, the more happy you are. But let's look a little bit closer at humans. What does make a beautiful face? There are 3 factors. If you generate an average face out of many individual faces, the result will always generate a feeling of beauty within us. Why? Because that face represents the tendencies of a group. So people with mixed features actually represent a greater population, a greater diversity, and therefore a greater adaptability to the environment. So that is why many find mixed race people most attractive. We love symmetry. In nature, asymmetry means infections, parasites, and possible danger. Fun fact. In the 1930s, a man designed the beauty micrometer, which actually measured asymmetric flaws in a face. He then created products to make up for those flaws. And he named the brand after himself, Max Factor. And lastly, hormone levels have a huge impact on beauty, especially the 2 main sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen in women actually produces features that signal fertility and are considered beautiful, like big eyes, full lips, and a narrow chin. And testosterone in men is responsible for heavier brows, thin cheeks, and bigger jaws. Now, a little bit sad is indeed that studies have shown that our brains automatically connect beauty with goodness. So people with asymmetric features are considered less kind, less good, less intelligent, less trustworthy, less competent, and less healthy. But is this always really the case? Of course not. But of course there's a connection between beauty and health. Yes, we do live in a body positive culture where every kind and shape and form of body is accepted, welcomed, and actually beautified. But let's get real here for a moment. An overweight body is not healthy. A dull complexion, split ends, skin or dental issues, a bad posture, all of these things are connected to less attractiveness and bad health. So as we learned from evolutionary theory, males instinctively selected more attractive females because they had better biological health and therefore were better potential mating partners. Now that we've uncovered all the wonder and dirt of the beauty world, let me give you some beauty self-care tips I use to get out of my crisis and to feel good about myself again. The first thing always in everything is acceptance. Accept the value of your face and the body you were born with. But how can we accept and actually start to love our imperfections? The most important question is not how do you look at yourself, but how do you talk to yourself? What do you say in your head when you look at yourself in the mirror? Or when you look at yourself in a bikini? Or when you look at a photo of you? Self-talk is everything. It all starts here. And it's not an easy thing to actually get conscious about what do you say to yourself on a daily basis, because it's very automatic and we're very used to the way we talk to ourselves. So first, start to pay attention on what comes up. Are you saying, I'm so ugly, I don't like myself? Oh, I have more wrinkles, I'm getting old. You're comparing yourself. So what you can do, and an exercise I try to do every morning and every time I look into a mirror actually, is to just look at yourself in the mirror and start talking well to yourself. So praise yourself. Tell yourself, I am beautiful. I am enough. I'm worth it. I am lovable. I love myself. And when you repeat and repeat this all the time, it becomes normal to your mind, and you will start to talk to yourself in a much better way. Because where there's love, there's beauty. A while ago, I was traveling in Indonesia, and I was going to a little island with some friends where there was no electricity and where there were no mirrors. And there I started to realize something very important. I stopped to actually worry about how I looked when I stopped to consciously see myself anymore. Let's be honest, we are addicted to selfies and to mirrors. And wherever we go, we see our faces. We are constantly confronted with ourselves. And at the same time, we're seeing all the perfection around us. Naturally, we compare. But what if you would just, for a time, take your attention away from the form and into the feeling? Pay attention not on how you look like, but how you feel like. So doing the things that make you feel good is real self-care. Not the things that make you look good. That comes naturally as a consequence. But when you really feel good, that is when you take care of yourself. And let's be honest, most of the times, filters and magazines and celebrities do not make us feel good about ourselves. So why don't we just stop using them? How much satisfaction do we really get out of all the likes on an image that doesn't actually really represent how we look like? So try going mirrorless for a little while and see how it makes you feel. I want us to really embrace our uniqueness and use our flaws actually to our advantage. I mean, we know that nowadays in the same face culture, perfection is kind of looks the same and it's kind of boring. But let's go back into the 90s, for example. If some of you remember those supermodels, was the supermodel era. And to be honest, none of them looked like the beauty standards now. They were all beautiful, but all so different. Their uniqueness made them beautiful and recognizable, which I think is much more important than to look perfect. You want to be remembered. Rather than be perfect, you want to be iconic and enhance your feature and not cover them up. You can be iconic and beautifully flawed, like Linda Evangelista with her too big nose, Claudia Schiffer with her sagging eyelids, Tyra Banks with her huge forehead, or Cindy Crawford with her inconvenient mole. Now your energy flows where your attention goes. So focus on the parts of you that you actually like and enhance them, and try and make your flaws your strongest and iconic feature. Like when I was young, I was always bullied for my little pig nose. I love my nose right now. And I actually have a huge forehead, if you don't see. But I don't care, because actually what they say about people with huge foreheads is they're way more intelligent. At least that's what I tell myself. And I used to always wear bangs because I wanted to cover it up. But now I just don't care anymore, because I'm perfect just the way I am. Still, I do love hats. That's why I put my hat back on. Now let's come back to age, because we are all aging and no one can escape that. Let's accept and embrace the changes our body goes through in a lifetime, that we can be at peace and age gracefully. A really good friend of mine, I really love the relationship she has with her wrinkles. She is, every time she has a new wrinkle, she's so happy. She's celebrated because she's like, I am getting older. I love getting older. This is amazing. It's part of life. And I always look at her like, huh, you got it right, girl. Let's try and view our wrinkles as a trophy we gained by living life to the fullest. Each one of them comes from precious memories. You have earned each one of them. More age means more experience, more wisdom, more stories to tell, and more people you can actually help and inspire with your life story. Anti-aging actually really means anti-living. Think about that one. Now, while it's really important to accept yourself as you are, you shouldn't stop there actually. Because if we do that, it could be an excuse for not evolving and not doing the effort of becoming better. And there are certain things you cannot change, or it's not necessary to change them, like your nose or your eye color or your body shape or the texture of your hair. But then you have plenty of options to actually improve certain things. That is why it's important to focus on health first. As we have learned, healthy is actually beautiful. External appearance can actually be linked to our internal health. And it's logical. When a woman is healthy, her cheeks are naturally rosy, her hair is shiny, her skin is clear, and her nails are strong. When she has an appropriate portion of muscle and fat, her figure is actually attractive. Of course, if you have a good cardiovascular capacity, if you have a healthy gut and a strong immune system, you will automatically look healthier, aka more beautiful. So I always like to be better myself and to improve things on my health. And I want to encourage you to do the same. If you're not happy with your weight, you have the power to change it by changing your nutrition and your exercise routine and your mindset. When you have a hanging eyelid or a double chin, you could, for example, start doing face yoga, which I started recently and it's really amazing, to train the muscles of your face. And that will automatically bring more symmetry to it. When your skin is actually breaking out or super oily or dry, you have to look at your nutrition and improve your skincare. When your teeth, for example, are super colored or yellow, there's usually an underlying health problem. So talk to your dentist. If your posture is actually really bad and you have back problems, start doing exercise. Start strengthening your muscles and start practicing, looking forward instead of looking down all the time. So once we focused and improved our health, we can actually add the tip of the iceberg and we can actually do a lot to improve our looks. You can, for example, go to a personal stylist. What to wear for your body shape and for your type, which colors to use and which materials that fit you well. You can obviously get a new haircut. You can even go to a specialist to get the right eyebrow shape. You can learn to use natural enhancing makeup. You can get a teeth whitening. And lastly, I consider it also important to actually consume less. And what I mean by that is focus on yourself and your life. Stop wasting your time scrolling away, looking at profiles of this super influencer and this super famous person and they're so perfect and their life is so amazing. Stop doing that. Focus on your own life. Consume less content. It will help you a lot to feel better. What I like to do, I just focus on creating rather than consuming, because for me it's like a very beautiful thing to do and a creative outlet. And I feel like why my boyfriend is on his phone scrolling and watching reel and short after short after short. I'm actually there writing the next script or editing a short. So I'm focused on inspiring others rather than just get a lot of input all the time. And of course, you can use social media. It's important to use it very carefully and to really select who to follow. And how you know who to follow? You just go through your Instagram or your YouTube and you just watch the content and follow the person that makes you feel good, Sometimes you look at pictures and content and after you feel bad about your life and bad about yourself and feel like you have not done anything and you're just super ugly and your life is a shithole. So when that happens, unfollow. But when you see content that actually makes you feel good about yourself and motivated to inspire others to go out there and get better, that is the people you should follow. Because the number one rule is just consume and do what makes you feel good.
Everyone is unique and everyone was not born the same and we weren't meant to be the same, and that's what makes us beautiful.
To those of you that think you're not beautiful, that's not true because you are.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful in your own way.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful just the way you are, and nothing can define you.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful.